What makes your heart and soul smile? So I was asked that at a meeting with one of the presidents of one of the Rotaries, and he asked me, well, what makes your heart and soul smile, or your heart smile, as it was. And I said, I have never been asked that question in my entire life. Has anybody else been asked that question before?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So when I was asked that question, I was thinking, gosh, what does make my heart and soul smile? And immediately my thought was to help women and children on the streets, and women come together and network and really help one another. So I would love to hear what makes your heart and soul smile in one word. Does anybody want to raise their hand?
I need 2 words.
Okay, 2 words.
Helping people.
Oh, I love that.
I'm going to be taking notes on here, so don't think I'm not paying attention.
Oh, it's okay. If you're not paying attention, that's okay.
No, but I just want you to know that I'm taking notes here, so
Okay.
don't think that I'm not paying attention.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Does anybody else have anything they would like to share about what makes their heart and soul smile? Okay.
Supporting moms.
Oh, I love that. Yay, okay, great. I love it. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to now invite you guys to close your eyes and visualize with me. Okay? I want you guys to picture 2 little girls who are, hi, welcome in, ladies. Come on in. Come on in. Hey, welcome in. Hi. You guys are traffic. I know there's a lot of traffic. Hi, honey, how are you? Hi. Oh my gosh, hi. Long time no see, woman. How are you? Good, come on in. I just started my speech. Tell us you're in. Tell us you're in. Lisa. And Jaya. Should we do introductions real quickly?
No, we'll go around later. I don't want to get, Stephanie's already out there.
Okay, so I'm on a roll. So sorry. So we're stopping for a moment and we're doing a quick visualization. Okay, ladies? Okay, so we're closing our eyes, and I want you guys to visualize 2 little girls, roughly around 4 and 6 years old. They are very dirty. They're very tired. They're scared and alone. And they're sitting right next to a very large garbage can in an apartment complex known for gangs and drugs. And I want you to just visualize these poor little girls. All they're doing is really just sitting there like looking around for help or food, and you can tell they haven't eaten in a very long time. Or taken showers in a long time. And all you can feel from them is this massive amount of fear, rejection, and all they want is love. Now I want you guys to open your eyes. Believe it or not, that was me. When I was a kid, I lived on the streets with my sister and my mother whenever she was around. I lived on the streets with my sister particularly, or with drug dealers, or in cars, or wherever we could live that people would let us live for a short amount of time. Both my parents were drug addicts. My mom was on heroin for a very long time, and my father was on heroin as well as alcohol, which is never a good mixture. I'm sure you guys know heroin in general is not a great idea to be on, but both of those things together really put it to a different level. Unfortunately, he was also very abusive as well, and so was my mother, very verbally abusive. So, at a very young age, I had experienced a lot in life. I saw gang wars, drugs being used pretty consistently. I had a hard time getting into school because my mother was never really around. And I finally developed a relationship with my mom when she got clean for a very short amount of time. And unfortunately, she got back onto the drugs, so I don't talk to her anymore. Well, not for the last couple of years because she borrowed money, and I learned my lesson for the 100th time. But what was really cool is when I was 8 years old, I decided at 8 years old I didn't want to be a part of this life anymore. I did not want to see the drugs, the gang violence. I don't want to see anyone else be shot. I didn't want to be sexually trafficked anymore. I didn't want anything to deal with any of this anymore. So I called my grandmother We were living on the streets for, gosh, about 3 months at that point, just me and my sister, eating out of a garbage can. And I literally called my grandmother and said, you know what? I don't want to live here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. Grandma, I'm going to tell you the truth about what's actually happening because we had to hide everything from my family. She ended up taking us in immediately. I ended up testifying in court against my mother because she was so delusional on what was actually happening. She was just keeping us around to basically be able to get the welfare. So I testified against her in court, and I remember making that decision that I didn't want to be stuck in that life. Because I had always seen these movies. I don't know about you guys. Do you like Hallmark movies too?
Yeah.
Especially during Christmas. I'm a Hallmark movie fan, especially during Christmas time. I mean, so many hours of Hallmark movies while wrapping presents, right? I mean, it's like my thing. I don't know about you. Oh yeah, I love it. So I watched these movies and just thought to myself, you know what? That's the life I want right there. Where it's got a family and kids that are normal and adults that are paying attention to the kids. And, you know, I just wanted a normal life, a home, an actual place to live with food to eat. What a weird concept, right? So when I was 8 years old, I made that decision. I got adopted almost immediately with my aunt and uncle, and they basically just took us from there and raised us to their very best ability, which they did a very good job. Having a place to eat, having food to eat, having a place to live, food to eat, and being able to take a shower is a big deal when you don't have it, especially for an extended amount of period of time. So my heart and my soul smiles because to help women and children off the streets, but also to help women in community. Now you can see the reason, because when you're in that situation as a child and you're helping children in that situation, it's almost like the circle of life, like Simba's up. Not literally, but the circle of life, being able to help somebody else in a situation that when you were in that situation is very rewarding. But also being able to help women in a group. Granted, I haven't dealt with a lot of women who are on drugs, but I've been able to help a lot of women in general, in a lot of different ways. But I also like to help with people in their finances because if you don't have money, you don't have a place to live, you don't have food to eat, you don't have, you know, the basic needs, right? So, I decided at a very young age that I wanted a Hallmark movie. I wanted a life that was a Hallmark movie. And you know what? I have my own version of a Hallmark movie. Ladies, I know that sounds really weird, right? I'm like, Hallmark movie? I'm gonna have one made of me one day, I'm just saying. No, I'm just kidding. You know, it is my version of a Hallmark movie. It's not perfect, it will never be perfect. Life is never going to be perfect. But the reality is that I have a family that's generally healthy, not right this moment, but generally healthy. I have a beautiful family. I have a job I really love. I'm helping in the community. And quite frankly, I just want to be on this earth to help people. And that is what I'm doing on a daily basis in many different facets. So, when I was 8 years old, I decided to be unstuck in that situation. I don't know about you guys, but do you ever feel like you're stuck in a situation where you're like, what the heck is going on? Like, I'm tired of being stuck. I know I feel that way about my weight quite often, where I'm like, oh, I feel stuck at this weight, but I can't seem to get down, or I never ever say I want to go up, but I never seem to get down to where I want to get down. There are situations where I sometimes feel stuck. But the reality is we have the decision. You are not stuck with anything that you have in your life. You can make a decision today to change anything you have that you're not happy with. So to go from a little girl on the streets who's dirty and had like 36 times as a child, which is disgusting by the way, to a vice president of an investment firm, CEO of an hour, you know, retired tomorrow, it's a pretty big difference. And I'm pretty excited to see where life is taking me. But it's not just me. It's the decision I made when I was 8 years old, but the decisions that are growing moving forward. So what I'm here today is talking about how you ladies and how I am not stuck with that decision and decisions we're not happy with right now. So I want you guys to think about for a moment, what is a decision, what is something that you're not happy with in your life right this second? Don't say it out loud. Just think for a moment, okay? Because we all have at least one thing. one thing. I mean, I'm sure you guys will have the perfect life, but just one thing. And I want you to think, okay, so I'm unhappy with this one thing. Again, you are not stuck in that situation. So I want you guys to think about this acronym that we came up with here. You're gonna look inside of yourself and think to yourself. It's an acronym called HEART. Okay? H. H is to look into your heart and see what you don't love and see it for what it really is. To heal in that situation. E, to evaluate. The evaluation of the situation in depth with strategic tools like a SWOT analysis or a personality test or whatever that test would be that can help you evaluate what's going on. A, action. It's my favorite word, action. Action is key to any success. If you're just thinking about something, you're not going to get anywhere. But if you're taking action, you'll get where you're trying to go. And it's one action every single day, even if it's something small. Even if you get up a little bit earlier that day, it's an action. Once you've evaluated the situation, have a way to implement the change. Action is important and do it today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. R. Reassess the action and make sure it is what the ending result you are looking to actually achieve. So you're saying, okay, well, I've found the problem. I've evaluated how I want to fix it. I'm taking action, but then I'm re-evaluating, is this action actually working? Is it actually working for me? And then T, to be thankful for the opportunity to make the change and to recognize the change in you that needed to be made and that you took the action. Being thankful to yourself sometimes is really hard. I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard time being like, wow, Steph, good job for losing 20 pounds this month. It's more of like, I still got 40 more to go, you know? It's never ever, wow, good job, Stephanie. It's more like, oh goodness. So taking that moment just to be thankful for what you did achieve or what actions you actually did is very important. So in the depths of my past, I was a big William Shakespeare fan at a very young age. Does anybody else like William Shakespeare here? Yeah? So when I was about 15, 16 years old, I read William Shakespeare all the time. And the one line that really stuck with me is, it is not in the stars to behold our destiny, but in ourselves. I'm going to say that one more time, it's really good. It is not in the stars to behold our destiny, but it is in ourselves. William Shakespeare said that. So you have just the choice, you have the decision, you have the realization that if you have something you want to fix, today is the day that you start the process of fixing it. You're not stuck with where you're at in anything in your life. You have the opportunity to fix it and change it. And if you need help, Empower Hour is here to help. I'm not a coach, but I'll help you as much as I can. And Ms. Ann is a phenomenal coach as well. So thank you so much, ladies, for having me today. I appreciate it. And that's it.
And you'll take questions?
Oh, sure, I'll take questions. I don't normally do that. So yes, I will have to take questions. Anybody have questions for me? Oh Lord, I'm scaring you all away.
So whose decision was it to actually leave the house, your sister?
Mine, 100%. My sister was very secluded from a lot of the things that were happening. A lot of the stuff that happened to me did not happen to her. I protected her from a majority of the things that happened.
Is she your younger sister?
She is younger, yeah. She's 2 years younger than I am. And so I shielded her from a lot. So I made that decision. She hated me for 2 years. She really didn't talk to me for 2 years. And then, now that we both have husbands and children and normal lives, she's very thankful. So, any other questions?
Yeah. How has her path differed from yours?
My sisters?
Yeah, the healing and living a fuller life and kind of, all of that.
So her and I are complete opposites. So I'm an extreme extrovert. I'm sure you guys all know this. I'm an extreme extrovert. My sister is a massive introvert. So she doesn't cry. She doesn't get emotional ever. Like, that is just not her thing. She doesn't even really talk about what's going on. So the way she healed was complete opposite of how I did it. And fortunately enough, she really just doesn't remember a whole lot, like really any of it, because by the time that we got adopted, she was only about 5 or 6. So she just doesn't really remember a whole lot of like living on the streets or any of that stuff. She does remember some pretty violent things, so she's had to get over those things, but not to the extent that I had to, unfortunately. Fortunately, that she didn't have to do those things. But she's healed in a very different way. And I tried to help her, but we all do our own things. And sisters don't listen to each other very well, I'm saying. So, anybody else?
More, how come, like, you never had anybody like call social services?
Oh yeah, we had CPS called on us all the time, but my mom would find a boyfriend or drug dealer or whatever that we would go and stay with, and then she would find food throughout the house somewhere, and then make it look like we had a normal life for that short time period that the CPS person was there. And otherwise, and she was very good at taking it. She was very good at manipulating people. Complete opposite of me. Very, very good at manipulating people and her children.
So does your sister and her have a relationship?
No, not at all. She borrowed money from my sister too, and just hasn't called her back either in 2 years. So, anybody else? Yes,
I'm just interested, because I know you're very spiritual. How has forgiveness played into all of this?
So, for me, forgiveness is 100% like the thing that made me to where I was able to get past everything. So at a very early age, I remember having a very heavy load on my shoulders all the time because I had so much unforgiveness, so much anger, so much frustration. I mean, to go through that much stuff, you're going to have some baggage, you know. And I remember at a very young age, I was listening to a pastor, and they said, you know what? You holding on to that forgiveness is not going to hurt that person. It's going to hurt you. And you're going to have side effects. You're physically going to be hurting. You're mentally going to be hurting. You're, you know, all of these different things. So I remember, I think it was like 16 or 17 years old, maybe 18. I literally just forgave my mom, forgave my dad, and all the abusers, and was like, I'm good. Like, once I did that, I felt 1,000 times better. I felt this weight off me completely. And, you know, honestly, I'm really thankful I did that because I probably would still be angry to this day. Otherwise, and I'm a little older than 18, so a couple years, just a couple. Anyone else? Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you very much. I wasn't really sure what your talk was going to